Well, it's that time of year again. Time to file your income tax returns. Joining us with some tips on navigating tax season, Vincent J. Russo with another In the Legal Know. And Vincent, thank you for joining us. So important, obviously. Just remind us on what we need to do, like right now, preparing for this.
Sure. So I've come with 7 tips, and I have my cards.
Everybody get your paper and pencils
write those
out.
numbers down. It can be overwhelming. It could be complicated filing tax returns. No one likes it, right?
Right.
To be honest. But it's important that you get organized. We're under 4 weeks away. And so now everyone has to focus. If they have to file, get their papers out, talk to their preparer. So we'll go through 7 tips.
Okay, good.
Hopefully they'll be helpful to our viewers. I'm looking forward to it.
Always helpful, Vincent. Always helpful.
Okay. So first we're gonna talk about filing by hand. All right. So the question becomes, which tax form do you file? And for most taxpayers, it's going to be Form 1040. But they've added a new form this year, which is 1040-SR. And that is for seniors who want to file by mail, snail mail. That's not on the internet, snail mail. It's something you actually mail in. and so this form has a bigger font and bigger boxes to write in the numbers, and it makes it easier for seniors.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, it's really helpful, and so the downside though is you're filing by mail and not electronically, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Mm-hmm. For many, they may be looking for Form 1040A or 1040EZ. These were other forms you could use when you had simpler tax situations. They're gone. So it's just 1040 or the 1040-SR for seniors age 65 or older. Now we move to the second area, which is the method of filing. So the IRS highly recommends you file electronically and not by mail. All right? And if you file electronically, you're going to get your refund quicker. So that's a real helpful thing for those who are expecting or getting a refund. So that tip is, if this is an additional tip, which is if you earn less than $72,000, you can file your federal taxes for free using the IRS free file program. So if you're under $72,000 of income, you can file for free with one of the services, software services. And the IRS is contracted with major players to be able to provide that service. So file electronically if you're able to, and that'll be helpful. And then use the free service if you're under $72,000.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know I'm getting a refund. What's the quickest way to get that?
All right. So.
Well, I don't know I'm getting a refund, but I'm pretending I'm hoping I'm getting a refund.
I hope you're getting a refund. And if you are, then you want to file electronically as soon as possible.
Okay.
If you're not, then wait till April 15th to pay the tax. Don't send your money in sooner if you don't have to. Now, so that's the quickest way. It's roughly 21 days for a refund to come back when you file electronically. And you can cut that time in half if you do direct deposit. So the tip here is make sure if you're doing direct deposit that the information is correct. That's the bank account number and the routing number. Very important. Triple check it. Because if you make a mistake, someone else is going to get your refund.
And that could be an easy mistake for somebody, the numbers. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Triple check that one.
Triple check it.
All right. Okay, let's move on to tax deductions. Tip number 4. All right. So here, it's a situation where one can take the standard deduction, or they can itemize their deductions. And if they itemize their deductions, they save taxes. And the itemized deduction items are like charitable deductions, mortgage interest, local and state taxes. So the tip here is don't forget to keep receipts and records of your deductible expenses for at least 3 years in case of an IRS audit. Mm-hmm. I prefer 6 years because there are different statutes that can apply. So 3 years, definitely, at least. I prefer 6 years of record keeping. So for all those who throw everything out, please don't do that,
Yeah.
especially if they're older, because they need those records if they file for Medicaid. And so that's another side note.
Okay, 3 years minimum.
All right.
Or we go with the Vincent, 6 years.
Right.
Play it safe.
That's right.
So let's talk Social Security benefits.
Okay.
Are they taxed?
Unfortunately, some of your Social Security benefits can be taxed. And that's very troubling to people who paid it to the system and they're living off this amount of money that they're getting from Social Security. And so 50% of your Social Security plus your other income, you have to add it together. And if you're over a certain threshold amount, then that excess amount is subject to tax. So the threshold amount is $25,000 per year for a single person and $32,000 for joint. Now, if you have even greater levels of income, the government can tax you up to 85% of your Social Security. So people need to be aware of it. Yeah. So here's the tip. There's an IRS worksheet to help seniors figure this out, or people on Social Security are disabled, to calculate your taxable Social Security benefits accurately. It's publication 915 that has the worksheet, or inside the instructions for the tax returns, there'll be a worksheet or an indication where to go to get it.
Okay, say this again. This is what on the IRS website?
This is publication 915.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You can Google IRS publication 915. You'll pull it up, and the instructions will take you to the worksheets.
Okay, great. Okay, now let's talk Medicaid.
Okay, so now we get complicated.
Of course.
So I think I'll make 2 points here with Medicaid. First is when you're on Medicaid for long-term care, filing a tax return can impact your eligibility and what's covered. So, for example, in New York, if you're on Medicaid home care, you're only allowed a certain level of income. If your income's over that amount, you have to spend it down or do a pooled trust. The IRS, with this tax return, you're going to report that income you have, and the Department of Social Services running the Medicaid program here in New York are going to look at that tax return and see what your situation is. Or if you're under you've applied for lower insurance for your health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, then income levels will impact how much of a credit you get to lower the cost of that coverage. So here's the tip that I would recommend. If you're dealing with Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act, I would say consult with an elder law special needs attorney or your tax advisor to understand how your tax return may impact your Medicaid status.
Yeah.
Very important.
Excellent tip, that one. Okay, what about tax credits?
Okay, tax credits are golden eggs. They're beautiful. They're better than a tax deduction because it's a dollar for dollar offset. So I'll mention 3 tax credits that people should be aware of. One is the child tax credit. The second one is the earned income tax credit. And the third is the American Opportunity Tax Credit. So these credits, different criteria for being eligible for them. The child tax credit could be up to $2,000. The earned income tax credit for people with low to moderate income can be anywhere from $600 to $7,430. And the American Opportunity Tax Credit is for people going to college, covers that higher education for 4 years, and allows for a credit of up to $2,500. So the tax tip here is to check your eligibility for credits early and gather supporting documentation to claim them confidently.
Okay. Wow. Any parting words before we have to wrap this up?
Parting words. Okay.
Words of wisdom.
My parting words would be that don't be fearful of tax season. You want to be as accurate as possible, so collect your information, organize it, go to a tax professional if you need help. The software programs are great. Don't forget, you might be able to file for free with one of the services.
Okay.
All right? So my wish is a very large refund for everyone, including yourself, and let there be no audits.
That sounds perfect. Oh, thank you so much.
You're
As
welcome.
always. And again, April 15th is the date. No extensions, like some years.
Well, you can file for extensions, but there's no extension of the date to like the 16th
Exactly.
It's April 15th.
April 15th. Vincent, thank you so much.
You're welcome.